Photography, as defined by Wikipedia, is the art, application, and practice of creating durable images by recording light, either electronically by means of an image sensor or chemically by means of a light-sensitive material. Documentary photography, as defined by the Tate Modern, is a style of photography that provides a straightforward and accurate representation of people, places, objects, and events, and is often used in reportage. Reportage, as defined by Oxford Dictionary, the reporting of news for the press and the broadcast media, factual presentation in a book or other text, especially when this adapts to a journalistic style. Journalistic style, as defined by Wikipedia. Prose used for news reporting in media such as newspapers, radio, and television. Okay, look, this is all fine and dandy if you want to argue a thesis or you want to try to look smart to the archetypes. It's good to know these things. But for me, it's just noise in the background, because photography is way more. When the fever of photography gets a hold of you, like it did with me, it becomes something else entirely. Before long, your life is taking on photographic water, and the bilge pump of family, friends, and career simply cannot keep up. Photography is a secret with yourself, a second life, a private conversation, a half-truth at times. Even if you sell out, go public, and live the lie, that second conversation does not go away. In fact, that God or devil, or however you define the small voice over your shoulder, will only get louder. Do you find it difficult to photograph here, Joe asks. Yes, I do, but what choice do I have? Plans are made. New friends of friends learn we are in town and want to ensure we enjoy ourselves. I tell them I'm working, but that idea is swatted away like a black fly in a cloud of DEET. There is talk of a boat ride. The temperature hovers at 96. I sweat through my clothing, just sitting. Momentum builds, and now we are committed to an hour in the boat. This doesn't register. The idea of where we are, what we will do, and how that experience will be doesn't register. All I can think about is how am I going to cover this, as if there'll be an editor waiting for me on the dock. You want to know how bad this is? Picture me standing in front of the sliding door of the van. Inside is my entire range of kit. People are talking, making small talk, talking about plans, locations, the lake. I hear them, but I don't listen to the words. Behind my Oakleys, my eyes are closed and I'm projecting into the future, visualizing what the situation might look like, what might happen, and how I can come out of this with something usable, something doable, and something that will at least check in an internal box or two. You? Where do you fit in? The viewing audience? You don't. You never once cross my mind. Ever. Sorry. Not every kid gets a trophy. In fact, in my mind, the first kid to step to the plate gets a fastball high and tight. In my mind, I am just where I want and need to be. Alone. Okay, think building blocks that will eventually tile together. I need the Fuji with the Fast 50 for my double exposures. This will be the main theme, at least for this part of this plan. I need the Sony with the 20, because it will be on a boat, tight quarters, and I might need that. Plus, this baby has the 5-stop neutral density, and I can film with it, both others and myself. And I'll take the Sony 55 because it's a 1.8 and might be nice for some separation if need be. It's a bit of a double up with the Fuji 50, but I'm okay with that. The Sony will be my primary motion camera. Remember that. Think motion. Think. Light and small. Wrap the strap tight and I can almost hand hold. And if not, I'll go half speed and it should work in small doses. That should cover most of the boat work. I also need the GoPro, twofold. One for a time lapse if I can find a spot to attach the action camera without losing it overboard. I'll take the little tripod stand, but not the longer arm, chest belt, or head attachment. The 360 camera is dead and my laptop won't handle it anyway. Do I need the Leica adapter for the Sony? No. The drone? No. My phone? Especially no. I do not mix grain and grappa, nor do I shoot with both iPhone and a quote, real camera. I don't like the games that plays with my head. The phone allows a crack to appear, the crack that might allow you to creep into my mind. No, 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 never. Sound. Oh yeah, sound. Yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Where do I put it? Where do I store it? It's a bit fragile. Okay, no. If ever in doubt, it's always no, all caps. I will counter with atypical sound in places of what you might expect to hear. That will work. I am in control of this little mission, and in the words of Chef, never get out of the boat unless you're going to go all the way. The 250 Yamaha purrs away from the dock, nearly silent. I nod to myself, smart to leave the sound recorder at home, and there's no smoke from the motor. Modernity of the engine makes for lesser images. My mental checklist begins to fail almost immediately. The fictional photo essay I projected falls to the ground like a sheet of glass, shattering into a million jagged little pieces. Okay, good. Phew. Now I do what I was trained for. Just see, react, and compose. Build, you idiot, build. I would assume that the rest of the people on the boat are enjoying themselves, and I am too, but not really. Like hunting for your food before the death grip of winter consumes and kills, you need something in the freezer. I have nothing, yet. These are friends, but civilians and strangers who I have not asked about being in my little story, so I have to work around that. No recognizable faces. I bounce between stills and motion, motion and stills, 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 still my preferred way of seeing the world. If I'm good, I can work anywhere. I can do anything. Then prove it, shut up and prove it. All it takes is one strike, hard against the line as I set the visual hook, one slight glimmer of hope. You know when you see the pieces in front, something is there, but I need to see it before it happens. If you see it, you missed it. Remember that when you need to sober up. If you can shoot it again and again and again, it just ain't that good, rookie. I feel small, like the first newspaper I ever visited. Photo editor, old, white, and crusty, with Brill cream in his hair and a pocket protector. He asked me a question, then waited for me to reply. In the middle of the newsroom, packed with journalists, the first word out of my mouth was met with the same photo editor standing in a rage, screaming at me, "I don't want to hear your war stories, you little punk." I felt like dust, hoping for a hurricane wind to put me out of my misery, but I sucked it up that day and slunk out of the building. I make small talk, but inside I'm locked in. I feel something, a little wind here and a little wind there. My pulse drops. I set the cruise control. Remind myself I'm just a hobbyist now. Relax. Try to enjoy this one little life. What do Mario Lemieux, the WWE, the color of the lake, the island's mid-lake, and the dialect of those around me have in common? My copy, my story, my writing. Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. The all-important words, the high art people. Yeah, I write that in my head as I go, fragments stitching themselves together. This is an entirely separate conversation running alongside the boat, the van, my wheels at all times. Without this, for me, there is no point. The pictures, sure, yeah, okay, fun and games, but without the words, they are just little rectangles and little squares. The captain kills the engine and we float. The water beckons as the heat locks us down. The mute button of life is pressed. The sound returns, and I try to act human. Tomorrow is another day.